welcome back to the channel. Sort of in the same vein as yesterday, there's not going to be a lot of an update here to begin. Not a lot has gone on today. I can say I'm a little ahead of schedule, thankfully, for a change. And I'm hoping that will free up some time so that I can work on those cards. I'm going to try to get that project moving forward. Yeah, I think that's about all. I'm going to do 2 readings as usual, and they're both going to be a 5-card spread. One thing I will mention that I noticed earlier today when I was checking my mail, the channel that I reference a lot called Moonlight Ponderings, there's a new video uploaded there of Severine using her singing bowl, and so I will link that in the description, and you're certainly welcome to go and check that out if you like singing bowls and that sort of stuff. Emily is here with us. She says hello. Okay. Get myself focused here. Take a moment to ground my energies. Okay. Take a moment here to say hello to the cards. Let me take a moment to connect my energies with the cards and connect this first reading with Carla. It's not ready yet. Hmm. Okay. Okay, your status card here to begin with is the Prince of Light. And the intuitive message that came through when I turned this card over, there again, it ties into the name of the card and it speaks to illumination. Also, another message that came through, and I was drawn to this mirror or coin that this figure is holding in this card. It's talking about self-illumination to a degree. It's about knowing the self and being in a position where you're letting some of that light shine out to the world. I think this is a very positive beginning status card. And we have some company here on our reading, but I don't think that I can read with her in my lap like this. Cool. Yeah, I believe that's Emily's statement for the reading, to say that she agrees with that assessment. Yeah, definitely therein. The intuition here with this card is illumination, particularly a focus and a reflection on the self, and also being able to magnify or shine that out into the world. So we're starting off here in a really good place. I really like this card as a status card. Okay. Okay, card's not quite ready yet. Card that's come up a lot recently. Okay. Your challenge card here is the boy. The intuitive message that came through very strongly when I turned this card over, it's speaking to some degree, a lack of wisdom, and a focus on, to some degree, a focus on creativity, which is not necessarily bad, but this card is speaking to the fact that there's something going on, some kind of issues or some element involved in the life path, and wisdom, like inherent deep wisdom, is being overlooked somewhere. Yeah, I'm getting a focus there again. There's such a child. This card speaks very loudly of child and children, and a vibrancy, but it's the strong message here is that this figure in the background, this ancient figure, is sort of being ignored and set to the side. The rest of the card is this muted, sort of shadowed color, and that's the message that's coming through here in this card, the challenge of not focusing so much on the vibrancy, and looking within a little further. So this card connects to your status card here in an unusual way, but it is speaking to a challenge and something that needs to be addressed. Also now I'm getting further, this is speaking to a sort of playfulness, like a playful view or approach to a problem or a situation, or perhaps just life in general. And there again, there's some serious, sort of inner wisdom work, or things that need to be taken care of or looked at or understood in a different way. The impression that's coming through now is that this is speaking to an approach therein to a problem or in life in general. Okay, card's not ready yet. More strange noises. Had several of those today, and also the lights flickering as well. So I feel, the energies are lively today for whatever reason. Okay. Okay. So your solution or tool card here is the paradox, and it is reversed. Turn it up so that you can see it the other way. There was a very loud message that came through when I turned this card over, and it's speaking to this approach of not getting hung up on semantics or questions. Yeah, it came through very loudly as don't get hung up on the questions or the concerns, or there's some kind of duality of view or opinion, and this is causing confliction. Taking this tool or solution card and moving forward, it's speaking to stepping away from the illusions, and looking for clarity, and not being there again, not being overwhelmed by questions or conflicting components within whatever it is that's going on in this challenge here. Yeah, this paradox card certainly has a paradox feel to it. It comes through even though the card itself is reversed. Have to take a moment. Another card that has come up recently a time or two. Okay. The intuitive message that's coming through in this card is speaking to a schism of practicing balance while at the same time, as we saw here in this status card, letting your own internal light shine forth. There is also a strong sense of community here, and I'm getting this presence of being watched over or a guide from the top of the card. So there's a lot going on in this potential outcome card. But balance is certainly a loud message here. It's talking about being able to do simply that, to be illuminated and to shine that light out into the world, and at the same time have a sense of community, a closeness to friends and family. So all in all, I think this is a very positive card. And this is one of those unique cards in the deck. There are a few cards in this deck that are not named. So alright. Okay. Okay. Your personal card here is the Queen of Shadows, and the message that came through pretty loudly when I turned the card over, this is speaking to, yet again, the status card and illumination. This card is reversed, and the illumination, that's where this reversed element of the card is coming from. This is also about not living in illusion, in the sense of shining that light out. I feel that it's stressing that and saying that that's a really positive approach for this reading. Yeah, as I always say, take your time and look at this card closely. I will turn it up so that you can see it. There will be a message in this card that will speak directly to you beyond my interpretation. There again, bear in mind that this card was reversed, and sometimes I get the impression that the reversed element of the card isn't relevant. However, this time I believe it is. So keep that in mind when you're searching for the meaning. But as I said, you will find something for yourself in this card, and it may not be my own interpretation. So as I always say, if you have trouble seeing any of the cards or the images, let me know. I can send you a picture of the card, and that won't be a problem. All in all, I think it was a pretty positive reading. This paradox card always weirds me out when I draw it out of the deck, because it's just such a weird, sort of conflicting, swirling card. There again, though, as an approach, I think it really works with the reading. It speaks to seeking clarity and not getting bogged down in sort of all these other details and elements and things that might spiral together or cause you to lose yourself or your train of thought. So yeah, all in all, I think a very positive reading. I'll put these cards back in the deck, and I'll give the deck a moment to disperse some of these energies. Those are supposed to be together. Okay. Okay, I'll let those have some time there to just be. While we're taking a moment here, I will include this as well as another little tidbit of an update. Done some research recently that indicates the next few days, particularly the 23rd and the 25th, are going to be very energetic, powerful days for manifestation and change. There's some unusual stuff occurring, astrologically. So if you're inclined, I would definitely recommend that you look into that and see what you find for yourself. It seems pretty neat to me, and I think it's going to be important for the world, on a grand scale, but also, of course, for individuals as well. shuffle the cards here a moment, and then we'll move in. Let's see. Okay, let me take a moment to further connect myself with the cards and to connect this next reading with my friend Brittany. Okay. These are supposed to be turned. Okay. Not a lot of shuffling going on there that time. Card's not ready quite yet. Still not ready. Okay. Another card that has come up recently. Okay, your status card here is the Prince of Shadows, and there are several different intuitive messages coming through with this card. First and foremost, this is speaking to some degree of masks and illusions. It's about being in a position or in a mindset or a feeling where you're keeping some things to yourself, and you're really good at that. I mean, it's a sort of subtlety of hiding certain things that you're not prepared to share with someone else, or I don't equate good or bad to that. It simply is what it is. It's a status card. There is a lot of light and dark in this, and a lot of shadow. There again, it's the Prince of Shadows. The strong part of this and the strong message, though, therein is, for whatever reason, it's about keeping something to the self. It's about holding in. There's a lot of intensity in this card. Not necessarily bad, just a lot of energy. Prince of Shadows. Okay. Wow. Okay, your challenge card here is the Queen of Hearth and Home, and it directly speaks to this status blatantly. The message that's coming through here is about hearth and home. It's about your connections to, you know, friends and family. Also, I'm getting this strong feeling that this is about connection to a loved one, you know, a relationship partner. And this figure in the Queen of Hearth and Home is holding this mask. And it's speaking to this challenge of the figure is sort of peeking over the edge of this mask. This card is speaking to that challenge of just, you know, wanting to share certain things, or to be completely open. And therein, that's the challenge. It's like these masks that are being worn or used, and it's causing some confliction and disruption. So that's the challenge, you know, trying to balance that and maintain what you can safely share, you know, what you can show to other people, versus what you feel you need to keep private. Yet again, there's a lot of intensity in this card. The Queen of Hearth and Home. Okay. Okay. Another card that has come up a lot recently. Okay, there's a lot coming through with this card. Your tool or resolution card here is the Sorcerer, and it is reversed. Oftentimes, when this card comes up, it speaks to me about internal process, internal alchemy. Here, though, the message that's coming through is a focus on not turning away from that partner, or not turning away from, you know, family. Also, there's a thing here of like, listen closely to your heart. And this card oftentimes as well speaks to me of being grounded. And there's a very strong feeling of grounding and being grounded in this card. I think too, yeah, now it's coming through a little more. The fact that the Sorcerer card here is reversed is speaking to the fact that, you know, it's simply that, like, don't hold all of these things inside, and you don't have to go through this process. Whatever's going on inside, you can share it and you can let it out. The figure here in the card is looking in that direction, and his face is very illuminated, as if to say, I'm going to shine out this information and I'm going to share, rather than try to struggle, you know, with it by myself. So yeah, this card is very loudly speaking now. It's saying sharing. The Sorcerer. Okay. A lot of energy coming through in this reading right now. I got to take a moment here to breathe. Card's not ready. Okay. Hmm. Okay. This has come up a lot recently, not necessarily this card, although it has come up in other readings. The outcome cards that have come over the past few days, a lot of them have spoken to this feeling and this energy of balance and the scales and the choice of an individual. I am getting a very strong sort of 50-50 voice and message for this card. There's a lot of light and a lot of dark in this card, and this card is simply saying it's up to you and it's on you. You as a conscious being, you're in control of your own life and your own path, and you will make a choice. And your choice, even to some degree, it's not going to be gray. It's going to be either black and white. And there again, it's up to you how you choose to approach these challenges. There is, however, a lot of illumination coming from this figure, and she's even manifesting this orb of light. So this is speaking to me of the brilliance and the love and the joy and the goodness of that potential choice of sharing, of letting those things out. So I will show you the card here. It is the blessing, and it was reversed, but I don't get any impression that it being reversed bears on the reading itself. I'll turn it up so that you can see it. So yeah, I think that's a very positive outcome. It does, to me, speak to the power of the individual to carve their own path, so to speak. Okay, that card's not ready yet. Wow, okay. There was another message that came through right there. Very powerfully. I'll have to show you this card again. Further on this outcome card, it is speaking to this difference between wearing a mask and putting out, to a degree, a certain amount of illumination, and keeping what might be considered a darker part of the self hidden. And if you look closely, you can see that in the card here. This illuminated figure is actually balancing on top of another figure that looks more like a goblin or some other entity. And that message came through very loudly, as if to say, "Oh, you missed that part," So yeah, definitely. I think further still, it's speaking to the potential of sharing and the joy and the goodness that can be found in that approach, rather than using a mask, to hide something. Okay. All right. Okay. Your personal card here is one that has come up before, and it is prick your ears, prick up your ears. And to me, the strong message coming through this card is all about listening to the heart, rather than listening to doubt and insecurity. This figure has a very focused, attentive stance in the card, and I feel like she's listening, to that internal source. Also, this card speaks very loudly now of rabbits, which, on some other higher level conscious point, it's speaking to, love and togetherness. And so yeah, I will show you the card. As I usually say, definitely look at the image closely and find your own meaning in this card. There will be something in it that may or may not be my interpretation that will speak directly to you. So definitely take the time to look at the image. And there again, if you have trouble seeing any of the cards, let me know via a comment on Facebook or here, and I'll certainly be glad to send you better quality images of each card. Yeah, all in all, I think this is a very positive reading, very cohesive. The cards seem to connect together really well, and I can see how this would be a tricky challenge. The impression I'm getting from the reading as a whole, though, is that it's a very easy solution or approach, in the sense of having faith in other people, you know, practicing self-love, setting insecurities aside, and there again, unmasking. The very strong voice and message in this whole reading is unmasking, setting masks aside. So yeah, all in all, very, very positive reading. I don't think that there are any further updates I'm going to include here. I'm probably going to go ahead and wrap this video up. As I usually say, I hope all of you are well. I send you love and light and harmony, goodness and good fortune. Definitely therein, I'm doing free readings right now, so if you know anyone who is going through a difficulty or would simply be interested in a reading, you know, let me know, or have them send me a message, and I'll certainly be glad to do a reading for them. So yeah, if all goes well, I will speak with you soon.